and welcome back to another episode of the Choose954 podcast, episode 103, with Bailey Arts Contemporary Art Center resident artist Mark Viau here from his studio in downtown Old Town Pompano. If you didn't know about Choose954, myself, Evan Snow, and my business partner, Mr. Andrew Martineau, started a social movement to cultivate culture and community in my native Broward County in an effort to keep people in the know with all the great things going on within the arts and culture and the community building space to make this a better place to live and not just a better place to vacation because we live here. Point of the podcast is to connect you with talented people like him that are doing amazing work here in the community. So without much further ado, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the arts?
Well, my name is Mark, that's already been addressed. The arts, I went to college on a fine arts scholarship, but I kind of just put everything away after I graduated. Like literally, like just didn't do art for, 30 years or so. I had kids, started a business, and then during COVID, I just picked up a brush again.
Wow.
So that's kind of where I'm at. So it's like, like a big surprise of something I put on hold for a while.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's wild, right?
You don't look like you could have took 30 years off. But all right, fair enough.
I had triplets, so, I'm busy raising kids, so.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, good for them.
Where did you go to school?
I went to Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a Detroiter.
And what type of work were you making back then when you initially got started, and how has that kind of changed from?
Oh gosh, I was so young back then. I think that's kind of part of the rebirth of getting back into art. Like, you just don't really know what you're doing. No, that's a good question. I guess in college I did a lot of figurative drawing and stuff like that, but I had no idea like what I wanted to create or what I wanted to say or whatever. So.
What are you creating now? What do you want to say now?
Well, I don't know if it's so much about what I want to say, but I don't know. I like to make artwork that's appealing to look at. Like eye candy, or like you look at fireworks or whatever. It's just something that's enjoyable to look at.
It is, and also to sit on.
Yeah, as well.
We're sitting on the pillows with your art. I see some interesting colors, some interesting patterns, some interesting shapes. How would you like to describe your style? Because one of these looks like it is a landscape, but it looks like abstract.
Yeah,
but,
that's actually psychedelic landscape number 1. So that's my website. From some psychedelic experiences earlier in my life, I always had was always intrigued by like light and distance. So like a lot of my paintings, if you noticed, have a lot of depth in them. Okay. I hate using the word 3D, but it's the best way to describe it. Like this one has subtraction, where I'm sanding down like through here.
Okay.
So I'm really into the layers, as far as depth perception goes, and color, pretty much.
Interestingly, from this perspective, now I can see that there are 3 layers.
Yeah, well, even if you can touch it, even the guy, those guys,
Oh, he's coming. So there's like.
Yeah, and then you sand one down, you're like, oh, this should be in front of this one. This one should be in front of that one. So there's a lot of that. Like now, that one is addition. So you have cardboard. Those like that girl's hair has probably 100 pieces of cardboard in it. So.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so just layers. I'm into like layering things, So.
And this is wood.
That's wood. Yes, that is wood as well. But I just decided to start sanding. So that's subtraction. And that's addition. Is the simplest way to put it.
I think they could see probably. So the top.
Well, that's a whole piece added, but yes, around the filler that's sanded. There's a little bit of cardboard add-ons on that as well too. But that's kind of the gist of what I do is layering.
Interesting. Who are these people?
Nobody.
Anybody? Nobody?
No. Nobody in particular.
And
but you see like this eventually she's gonna be like those colors up there. She's pulling those colors up through. See these colors coming through? She's pulling them through. This is gonna be this whole the same colors that are up there.
And so I see paint, I see wood. What other mediums and materials?
No, paint, paint, cardboard, and black marker. That's about it, really.
That's a...
that's it, really.
That's interesting. That's an interesting mixed media collaboration. I don't, see many people working in these.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You paint for a little while, and you get bored, and you start gluing for a little while.
Amen. And psychedelics help with that.
Well, yeah, in the past,
Yeah,
but in the this one I'm working on too now. So I just kind of I don't know, just get obsessed with the layering thing.
That's pretty cool, and this is a new perspective on layering that I don't see many people doing, at least down here in South Florida.
Yeah, I've never really seen anybody do it. I just something I just picked up. I actually kind of really started from a couple drawings I did when I was just kind of getting back into it. I drew a couple pictures, and I just thought I couldn't really recreate it, so I cut it out. Then I glued it on something, and then I just kind of formed from there.
Nice.
So,
who are some of your inspirations that have led to your artistic endeavors?
I mean, not to sound cliche, but Cubism or Picasso's a good one. But in college and in high school and stuff, I always liked Keith Haring, graffiti artist. More recent, Welker. I don't know if you know who Welker is. He does concert posters, but he's a more recent inspiration. But
interesting.
So
I could see the inspiration now that you mentioned Cubism, and it's interesting too. Some of your color palettes, while they vary, the works. We'll spin the camera around and show them a little bit, but they have these lighter hues to them that they're appealing to me, and I'm interested to kind of see how the color comes through. Is this supposed to be concrete? Is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the concrete could be grass. It started off as grass, but I mean, the whole idea is that she's pulling. It's just going to tie the top to the bottom, I guess. She's just going to be pulling these color rods out of the ground that they're looking up at.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And this work will be on display when you'll be the featured artist.
Correct. In December.
Here at the BaCA in Old Town Pompano, just east of the train tracks on Dixie. We're on Atlantic Boulevard.
Just north of Atlantic.
Just north of Atlantic.
Correct. Just east of Dixie. Yeah.
Here on the site of Old Town Untapped, where Mark has studio. He's one of the resident artists in the Artist in Residence program here, which is a phenomenal program. Pompano, I happen to have grown up here,
oh, really?
And I never would have imagined in my lifetime that
Pompano's really, they got a lot going on here. It's cool. I mean, I like it.
People, I mean, fortunately now because they put so much money into the arts and marketing and getting the word out there, people know about Old Town, which is it's not just an art walk. It's also there's musical components. There's been craft beer components with the craft beer scene in Pompano. But it's a celebration of art and culture every first Friday of the month. Free event where a lot of the resident artists are here. So you'll have the downstairs gallery.
Correct.
On the first Friday, which I believe is the 6th.
Yeah, December 6th.
December 6th. So you can meet Mark, a bunch of his talented fellow studio mates and resident artists here. We'll get to see this piece of art.
It should be done by then.
And meet them, ask questions, commission, buy work. It's a beautiful way to engage with the arts locally here. And just, it's really great to see all this going on because I just never would imagine I'd be coming to Pompano to see art.
Yeah. I mean, this building's great. I mean, what they're doing here. I mean, it really is.
Yeah, this is a historic hotel. There's a lot of history here. And there's a lot of history in Pompano. There's actually a celebration of Esther Roll going on tonight. There's a lot of things going on at the Pompano Beach Cultural Center across the street, the Ally Cultural Arts Center.
Yeah, I have a painting actually right now that's still hanging in the Cultural Center.
Is that during a part of an exhibit, or is it just...
No, it was for an event like a month ago or so, but it's still there. It's a very big piece. So
nice.
Hopefully it can stay there until December because it's hard to transport.
For those that are looking at your work that maybe they're not into art, maybe they're not savvy art patrons or collectors, what do you want a viewer to take away from looking at and engaging with your work?
It's nothing really complex. Like I said earlier, it's just it's an enjoyable experience to look at. I mean, I think fireworks is a good analogy. I mean, it's like eye candy. When I see a piece of art that I like, you'll catch me looking at it for a period of time. I mean, I'm not really trying to send any crazy message or anything like that. But just an enjoyable experience.
Yeah. Visually appealing.
Visually appealing. I mean, some people do. It is interesting. Some people look at it and think, "Oh my God, I see this or I see that." I just let them go. That's their experience.
Art could be many different things to many different people.
100%.
Art could be storytelling. Art could be interior design. Art could be an investment. What are the price ranges and sizes generally of your work?
Size range. A lot of them are rectangle because they started off with bookshelves, but they range from I don't know, like a foot, 2 feet by 4 feet. This is probably a pretty average size, which is like 2 feet by 4 feet, or 3 feet. But no, there's smaller pieces too. But the price ranges anywhere from $600 to $10,000.
Okay.
There's all kinds of different sizes.
And is this work that you're creating for your own desire? Do you do commissions? Do you work on series? Or how does this work kind of unfold here?
I haven't done any commissions. I would be open to that. But ultimately, I think art you have to do for yourself first. If you got to start there, because if you're doing it for somebody else, you're just, not everybody's going to like your art. So you got to start by doing it for yourself, and if people enjoy it, they enjoy it. And I think that's kind of the part. We talked about the gap of me doing artwork or whatever. I think that's the point you have to get to is doing art for yourself that you enjoy and you're comfortable with, and it doesn't really matter, if everybody's going to like it.
I've seen a lot of art in my lifetime, and at this stage in my life, the art that interests me is the artwork that the artist is called to make, or almost in certain instances paid to make. Like they get up and 2 a.m. and they have to go to the easel, versus there's a million artists that are painting pretty pictures of flowers and portraits and so on, and that's great, and it serves its purpose, and you can make a great career as a portraiture artist. But I appreciate artists that, and I actually give you kudos and credit for, if you didn't feel the calling, you put it down, and then when you felt the calling, you picked it back up.
I think it's a lot of it is just being confident in yourself, and in a lot of different ways that are outside of art.
And life happens.
Yeah,
you have kids, you have business, you got to feed yourself, feed your family. And art, isn't always. It's a tough business for many people.
100%.
Fortunately, you got a great studio here at a great program.
Yes.
With the Artist in Residency program, where you're able to have this space, this room in the former historic hotel, to be able to create art.
Pretty small hotel room, though.
This was a different time. This is a different time, but it's got the great wood floors.
For sure.
You got some talented studio mates here. I'd like to take the camera, spin it around, and show them some of the other pieces here.
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about your process in the studio here.
Okay. Well, these are both really great examples. I don't know if you can see it from here, but these are all layers. This is cardboard that's glued on, multiple layers. This is cardboard glued on these. So, that's in a short version, that's kind of what I do. And you can see is this one I'm just kind of just starting. So there's the first layer of her, and that's another layer there. So it's kind of hard to see in photographs sometimes without the proper lighting, but same thing here. These are all layers that are added on.
It's cool how they pop out at you.
Yeah, they do sometimes. Sometimes you got to light them pretty well. That's why right now I'm working on some clear resin.
Okay.
I'm trying to find a way to so that you can see these, to create some shadows and stuff like that. Because it's hard sometimes unless you have light on it properly.
Is this one here? Is this piece resin?
No, this one's just kind of. There's nothing on here. This is just. There's no gluing or nothing. This was kind of specifically for a pillow design. We talked about the pillows. So it's just kind of a simple piece that I had that specific in mind. But those some of the pillows I've done, I've taken just little portions of the painting. That, if we go out there, I'll show you that painting. But this one I was like, let me just actually work on a pillow design. So.
Well, this style varies differently than the ones that have the people in them. So what
Correct. There's no people in this one. Like like I said, it was specifically for a pillow design.
Is that painted? Is that poured? Is that a?
There is no, it's all paint. There's it starts off with like a little bit of a wash, you can see, and then to be honest with you, I mean, I've washed the colors on, and then I get crazy. Like you see me playing with my black marker. Then it's just I literally sometimes just trace shapes that I see, and then then I'll go back through and add color or whatever. But a lot of it is just me tracing shapes that I see as I go.
I like the wash component.
Yeah, there's another piece that will be at the show, which is actually I've been using the painting as a lot of the marketing and the ad part you'll see, which is a big washed piece. There's a lot of wash going on, but that's something new that I've been doing, but I really like it. It's cool.
You want to show them the piece outside?
Sure. There's a few more pieces outside.
Let's do it.
Okay. And here's another piece. No layers on this one, but a lot of the black marker technique that I talked about in one of the other paintings. But this painting will be on display as well at my show. But there's a lot of marker work, but there's a lot of there's a little bit of wash going on here, and then I just go through, kind of just trace shapes that I like.
And this is a finished piece.
Yeah, this is totally finished. Like I said, it'll be on display at the event December 6th. So
I like the rectangle component, and I was actually
I do too. I mean, it started off with bookshelves because the material this is on MDF board, but if you buy them in this shape, they're cheaper, and I like the horizontal, the landscape or the vertical shapes of them. And most of my paintings are these shapes.
You can find like an interesting nook or crevice that needs that type of rectangle.
Correct. But when you print them, they get a little weird if you print them small, because it's like a like a little flyer or whatever. But I like the shapes.
All right. So we could see this one on display December the 6th, first Friday here at BaCA. If they want to find you on social media and the interwebs, where can they find you?
On Instagram and Facebook, Psychedelic Art Project, psychedelicartproject.com, or at Psychedelic Art Project on Instagram, and same as Facebook. Pretty simple.
So now we're in another part of the common area of the artist in residency section on the second floor. What else you got here to show us?
Just three more paintings. This one same thing. So we got some layers. Also, too, I don't know if I mentioned, but all my pieces come with custom frames.
That you build?
Yeah, I built this. I built this one. It probably took me longer than the actual painting, but layer. This is added on layers here, and like we saw the pillows before. This is actually like a.
Okay.
That came from. Yeah. So I just took a chunk of it that I thought would look good on a pillow, but I mean, these it's got steel frames. I just feel like when you buy a piece of artwork, especially if you spend a lot of money for it, you want to go home and hang it. You get a piece of canvas. You're only halfway there. You got to take it to a framer and everything, and you can add a lot of cost to it. But same thing. They actually this has got some books in the back too, which is the other one did too. But the steel frame
beyond the wash, there's books.
I don't know. It's just an idea. It gives it a little different texture or whatever.
All right.
Yeah, this one's interesting. I actually cut that piece of the painting off early on, and then I don't know. I just decided I wanted it back on there, so I thought it'd be cool to just kind of separate it a little bit. So you see again, the marker work that I like to do, and of course layers.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers, a lot of dimensions, a lot of different components.
That's the thing. I like to try to play with colors that really shouldn't go together or whatever. I was in a little bit of a fluorescent, paint phase there for a little bit, but I really like this one. The way that it's separated like that.
It's unique,
it's
and
cool.
I don't think you see many pieces.
No,
like that.
Like I said, I literally cut it off, and then when I get close to finishing it, I was like, wait a second, I kind of like it. Actually, no, I think I was actually starting to try to frame this little scrap piece, and I realized it was from that painting, and then I was like, let me just put it back, put it back in there, and I connected it a little bit, but it's different.
Cool.
For sure.
If they want to find you on social media and the interwebs, where can they find you?
Psychedelic Art Project on Instagram, Facebook, and my website is psychedelicartproject.com.
That's great. Well, we appreciate you taking the time. Encourage people to come check you out. First Fridays every month, but it'll be the featured artist.
Well, the gallery is also, it's open to the
Yeah.
public, I believe, Monday through Thursday as well.
Yeah, very cool. Thank you very much, Mark.
Okay, you're welcome.
Cheers.